Good evening everyone, welcome back, Broadbent here. Today we're going to be going over the major changes for the 0.66 update in the forest. So grab a cup of tea, sit back and enjoy the video. Starting off on a positive note, you can now burn turtles alive. Sea turtles will now be set alight when they pass through a fire. Always wanted to do that, nice change. Also, the turtle shell has got a higher resolution texture, looking very nice indeed. Now when trying to repair an enemy, you can no longer cover them in blood, something that did confuse me in the past. Quite a few cannibal village props have been blessed with better collision. This update we can also welcome a large bloody table to the game, and a broken bloody table. You know how it's really annoying that the deer just runs away for miles and miles when you're trying to hunt it down? Well, now they're going to run away even further. So if you don't kill them in that first blow with perhaps a spear, then they will run pretty far and you will have to chase them down across the map. When the player is killed by a shark or crocodile, you will do a very quick 180-degree turn to turn and face the animal that killed you so you know what killed you. They have taken some time to visit cave walls and improved their collision accuracy. They've improved the look of the cannibal village hut thatched roof texture. It is also now no longer possible to attach bombs to enemy gibs. Sad times. Now when you sit on a bench, if you're holding a small rock or tennis ball, they will now be dropped to the floor. Doesn't make much sense to me, but hey ho. The chainsaw has had yet again another nerf, thankfully. The overall movement speed while attacking with it has been lowered drastically, making it much harder to use in fights. The chainsaw damage has also been decreased against creepy mutants and the endgame boss. The heads-up display has also had a few changes this update. The stomach drawing has been completely replaced, and they've also added new gradients for the bars. However, there is one major issue with this, and that is they're using alpha channel for the gradients. So what's the issue here? Well, for example, if you look up in the sky and you have low stamina, it's really difficult to tell whereabouts the bar is. That's just my opinion though, let me know what you think to this in the comments below. You can now use both types of ziplines to transport logs from the beginning to the end. This is very, very cool. I really like that they've done this so you can get logs to more remote areas really quickly now. To do this, all you need to do is go ahead and pick up a log, go towards a fully built zipline, and then press E, and it will transport the log from the top to the bottom. They've made a small modification to the way the drop button is used when holding droppable items. So for example, if you have a small stone in your hand and you press the drop button, it will drop that item, which is how it's always been, but it will now automatically equip the previously used weapon. One of the most interesting changes this update is they've now allowed you to collect mushrooms using the pouch. You are allowed to carry up to 10 mushrooms at a time. Following up from that change, they have also allowed you to plant these mushrooms on gardens that have been built inside caves. However, one thing that they haven't addressed with this is how you can get those logs inside the cave to build the garden in the first place, because there's no official way to do that, but I expect that they will address this in a future update. The survival book has had almost a complete rework. You can see now at the very top of each page, it gives the category and it gives it like a little color, so it's easy to tell where you are. Also, the buttons at the bottom right of the book also tell you what page you are going to. So instead of just going forwards, it will say what is on the next page, which is a very, very welcome change in my opinion. One thing to note is that a few pages are still a work in progress, such as the bestiary page and older crafting pages. So this next change is rather fun if you ask me, but they have allowed you to use a turtle shell as a sled. If you go ahead and equip a turtle shell, jump and attack downwards, it will place the shell underneath you and you will slide. So this is really useful for getting out of sticky situations in, for example, the snow biome, where it works the best. You will go the fastest in the snow biome. It does work in other areas, however, you will go a lot slower. I want you to go ahead to the comments section right now and let me know what you think to this change. Arrows, spears, and the flintlock pistol bullets will now deal increased headshot damage to enemies, which is very, very cool. I'm so happy that they've added this, so now if you're a bit more accurate with that one bow shot, you could potentially do a lot of damage to this cannibal, saving your life. I'm really happy that they've added this. I've been waiting for this quite a long time and it makes so much sense. You can now also use the hole cutter to remove the rock path, deer skins, rabbit skins, and skull decorations placed on the wall. Now, personally I think the hole cutter is not the best option for this, it's just too big to use in a confined room, they should make a remover tool, as I have said in my top 10 suggested features for the forest. If you want to check it out, the link is at the top right of the screen right now. That being said, I'm really glad that they have added this, as it was a pain that you couldn't remove those rock paths. They have added the ability to enable mouse smoothing. So to use this, what you need to do is go into your options menu, and then you will see mouse smoothing with a little slider. Setting this to 0 will completely disable it, and setting it to 100 will max out the smoothing. It's very hard to play with 100%, but it's also quite nice to have around 10-15%. I assume people will be using this quite a lot to make nice cinematics. Now when you hold the pot, you will hold it correctly rather than just sort of holding it with one hand. You now hold it with two, like you actually would. They've also added an animation for it, so when you go ahead and collect water out of a pond or a lake, you will dip the pot underneath the water and take it out full of water. Very, very nice animation to see. Now that they've allowed you to collect mushrooms into your inventory, you can now use poisoned mushrooms to create poisoned arrows, which is very interesting to see. The checklist at the bottom left of the screen has had quite a few major changes. So you can see the general look of it has completely changed. It now looks a lot more spaced out, and I'm pretty sure they've also updated it to use the new font. So now when you go ahead and place down a blueprint, it will slowly fade in that checklist to the bottom left of the screen. And also when you complete the build, it will scratch it out like a checklist. This looks very nice and very smooth and just match the overall new aesthetics that they're going with. For performance reasons, they've gone ahead and simplified the setup of defensive wall reinforcements, and also optimized the CPU usage of all enemy AI routines. They've also added a CPU optimization for the sea when the player is far away. Alright everyone, thank you very much for checking out this 0.66 update for the forest. If you guys found this video helpful or interesting, make sure to leave a like on the video, and let me know what you think to this update in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching everyone, and I'll catch you in the next video.